Hello, it's me, Austin, former self-taught sewist. We'll get into that later. Um, Today I am trying to organize some stuff in my new sewing room. Um, yeah, there's a lot of fabric, a lot of notions, and a lot of other crafty things to organize, but I figured we get started. Let's do it. Okay, so I thought that we could start by going through some of my fabric stash. Um, yes, I did recently move. I thought we could start with some fabric that I actually had at my other house, and then go into fabric that has been in storage for almost a year. So um, nervous and excited to go through what I haven't seen in a while because I certainly have forgotten about most of it. But anyway, here we are. On the top is a couple of things that I got at my school fabric sale recently. This 4 yards of this brown linen, which I am going to use very soon. And this kind of checked, I think Dupioni or some sort of silk or silk blend. Very fall colors. Don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I of course have my little pennant flag from my old studio. It says AJPK. I'm definitely going to put that up in here um, somewhere. And I think this box is all projects that I know I'm going to make. So um, I have this wool blend kind of grid pattern that I was going to make a coat with, still going to. It was for a trip that got moved to summertime from fall, winter. So I will make this eventually because I love this. And I have a lining for that as well. And then I have some plaid that is definitely going to be like flannels for the fall. So this is also a project that's going to happen soon. Um, I think that okay, I have some like stretch um, twill and this duck cloth. I think this is duck cloth. Um, and I want to make a canvas jacket out of this. Hopefully, I have enough for that. And I think that's really all for fabric that I know what I'm going to do with. Um, and then, yeah, the rest is scraps. By the rest is scraps, I mean not just scraps. I have plenty of bags and boxes of scraps, but I do have plenty of fabric I have not cut into yet. I just don't know exactly what I'm gonna make out of it. So let's get into more of that stuff, not just scraps. Okay, here's another box of fabric that I had at the other house, and this is actually stuff I know what I want to do with too. Um, This is some white interlock knit. Um, and I made a tank top out of this, I believe, but I wasn't super happy with the fit of it. But I do want to make another t shirt and possibly dye it because it's pretty bright white. Um, and this is just linen cotton blend that I got from Joanne. A lot of this stuff is from Joanne Rip. Uh, I don't know what I want to do with that yet. Um, then again, these are just cottons. Cottons. I have this lovely stripe, kind of flowy situation that I was gifted too. I do want to make some sort of robe situation out of this. I know, I think it's LB Textiles has a zero waste robe pattern that I might want to use that for. Um, I also got this. I think it's a stretch corduroy um, from Joanne too. But I was thinking of making a little bag, um, like a little crescent bag or some sort of tote bag out of it, which could be very fall flavored. So I might be making that soon. Um, Speaking of fall flavored, I got this Roma print from Fluid and Drape in the plum background color. I mean, listen, we gotta look at it up close, okay? Because it's gorgeous and just the texture of the fabric is amazing. I'm super excited to use this and make a shirt. Okay, anyway, I have some more of that linen cotton blend from Joanne. This was in like a chambray color. I made my sister a dress out of this, which I still need to get pictures of. And I have more in like a green and an olivey green and a lighter minty green color. So I've got lots of that, and I might make myself something out of like a mix, a patchworky mix of these. So that might be cool. Um, the rest of these are random cottons. I've got some cotton flannel that may become Christmassy things, and this check linen from Matchy Matchy Sewing Club, which I did just make a shirt out of. Um, Amazing, and I'm just really excited to think of what I could do with the scraps. Um, I've got some ribbed knit for future t-shirts. This is from Fringe Fabrics in San Diego. Um, Fabulous little new fabric shop, and this rib knit is so nice, and it's like a little thicker, so it feels good for like t-shirts and stuff like that. Um, I've got some fabric that my friend gifted me from Japan, and the rest basically in here is scraps, actual scraps this time, leftover from pants, various other patterns, and some more little cottony things. So we're very early in my boxes of fabric, and I'm seeing how much I have. So it's humbling. I'll tell you that, it's humbling. So now we're getting into more of a mystery zone. Some of these things I know what they are. I have some, again, scraps that I've been kind of piecing together and turning into things. So this is a long, ongoing project, part of which is this big quilted bag I made from all scraps. Still hand sewing on the binding, which has been happening since midsummer. But of course, lots of other life things happens in between then. But this is almost done. Um, and this is either leftover pieces or related projects to that. Then this is a tapestry that I think this is actually the leftover fabric. I made a mock-up of like a jacket, a shacket, way back when I started sewing out of this fabric. And speaking of that, I have my very first pair of shorts I ever made, and my little kind of kimono-esque top. Um, I think it's a top, a free pattern from fabricstores.com or fabrics.com. Um, but it was so fun, and I actually do like the pattern, and I would maybe make it again in a different fabric, but it was a learning experience. So I made myself a little matching set. One of the very first things I made, um, and this is same pattern, super silky fabric. Didn't know what I was doing, but again, a learning experience. Flat felled seam for the very first time on like my second project ever. Didn't know what was going on, but I made it work. Um, Again, kind of a cool project, and I might scrap it for other things. Um, this is all plain cotton scraps, and oh, here it is. Here's that jacket that I made. It's kind of not terrible. Um, I think it's the Paula workwear jacket. A lot of people have made it. For my frame and my like measurements, it doesn't necessarily fit. It's pretty tight along the back. But I did make it several times when I first started sewing, just because I felt really confident in the pattern. I made lots of short sleeve shirts out of it, some jackets. Some of them I still have in my wardrobe. Many of them I've cut up into scraps. Um, and again, I think this bucket is all when I first started sewing, I was going thrifting for duvet covers and curtains and blah, 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 which is a great way to start getting fabric. Go get a $3 duvet cover or some curtains or a tablecloth and just sew to your heart's content and just allow yourself to make mistakes and learn new things. So, a lot of this is all thrifted material that I started with. Pretty sure this is a pair of pants that I started making. Obviously, I did not finish. That was a mock up. And yeah, this looks to be all scraps of blankets and curtains and stuff like that. All stuff that is fraying really easily, so it's kind of a mess in this box. I've got more of this silky fabric. But I will think of what to do with all of this because I really do this year and going into the new year too want to work on using up a bunch of my scraps and using stuff that's in my stash. So I've got a lot of these old scraps I haven't seen for a while, and got to think of what to do with them. But I'll think of something. I think over here we have bags of scraps. Now, I've said the word scrap a lot, but I've got layers of scraps. I've got scraps like this, off cuttings, really small um, scraps, threads, and stuff like that. One day I'm going to make a big poof and stuff all of this stuff in there. Um, I have okay, don't judge me, two huge bags of just small scraps that really can't be used for anything. Um, Maybe I'll make something for Christmas out of those. I gotta find a way to use them. If you have suggestions, let me know. And then I have another bag here of just bigger scraps. So this is actual bigger pieces of fabric. Okay, this is a big bag. Now that I'm lifting it up, it's bigger cuts of fabric that aren't yardage. So it's not like it's less than a yard, smaller scraps that I do want to do something with eventually. Um, I just save everything. I don't want to throw anything out. This is the rest of the fabric for the blouse that I just made my mom. And a couple more bags of scrappy type of things. These are bags of like sweatshirts and t-shirts that I cut up. One of my goals for this year was to make a t-shirt quilt, which I have the actual fronts to the t-shirt somewhere else in my storage stuff. This is the rest of the bits, so like sleeves, t-shirt backs, plain t-shirt fabric. But I do think that I want to do some sort of like checkered situation or something like that. I have a vision. I don't know if I'm going to make like pillows or like placemats or like a quilt in itself, or fill in the t-shirt quilt with stuff like this. But I'm confident that I can make it work. Again, I have lots of things and lots of ideas, and clearly not enough time at the moment. But this is kind of like a scrappy pile over here, which is almost bigger than the actual fabric. Oh my. So jokes on me, I thought it was all scraps over there, but I found this tote bag, which was also one of my first makes, and I'm pretty proud of it actually. Um, but it's full of it is full of actual fabric. Most of this was gifted back a couple years ago, but I do have a lot of it. Some plain fabrics, lots of fun colors though. So I will definitely find something to do with all of this too. I say that for everything though, right? So, okay. I'm seeing a trend here. I think I only have a couple more boxes of actual fabric to go through. So that doesn't include all of the notions and various things like that. But as long as I get my fabric out, then I can start organizing it. Um, right here, I have, again, early sewing journey. This was a curtain that I turned into a pair of pants, which was actually pretty successful. It was just a mock up, which has random belt loops on it. Um, but I will definitely cut this up and use it for something because it's nice material and I didn't completely destroy it. But this was my first successful zip fly, and it looks not bad. So I'm proud of that. Um, I have another blanket, another curtain, and a big pile of upholstery fabric samples um, from my best friend. Um, and this, I don't know what I'm going to do with yet, but I feel like there could be a cool tote bag or upcycling moment with these. So that's why I kept them. I got rid of a few of them, but I kept a lot of the ones that I liked. Now, uh, now we're getting into really nice fabric that has been in storage for a long time. First of all, I have this. Um, I have an order from Blackbird Fabrics that this is my first big fabric splurge. I was like, I want to buy nice fabric, and they have gorgeous fabric. Luckily, this was now a couple of years ago, before tariffs and stuff like that. But I have this twill, cotton twill in the color Lagoon. Um, Gorgeous. I did make a pair of, I think, like Simplicity cargo pants from it, but they just weren't working out. I took them apart. One of my next projects is to make the cedar pants out of these, and I have all this extra fabric. So, I mean, this is at least a yard, and I have those pieces and a couple other scraps that I'm gonna like piece together to make a new pair of pants. I think these would look so cool as the like climbing workwear inspired pants with some cool top stitching probably. I also have this. Now this isn't from Blackbird, but I have this green ribbed knit fabric with little tulips, or I think they're daffodils on it. Um, I got a lot of this. Is over 4 yards, and this is again when I was first starting to sew. I don't know what I was thinking, but I wanted to make like a cool little t-shirt or polo shirt with it. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have enough to make my partner a matching one too. Um, Now, in this bag, look, there's literally still in the mailer um, from Blackbird Fabrics. So I have this gorgeous block print cotton in the colors um, sea glass and wheat. Again, they have the best names for their colors. So there's 2 meters here. Definitely want to make a nice summery shirt. It's 100% cotton. The print is just gorgeous. And I have this um, linen. So it's 100, no, it's rayon, 78% rayon, 20% linen, and 2% polyester. So it has like that really silky, flowy feel from the rayon. It's in almonds and with black pinstripes. My original plan was to make like a nice linen pants, which I still might. It's so interesting to look at like what I bought when I first started sewing and what my ideas were because I feel like my possibilities have expanded so much in the last couple of years. But I still stand by this being gorgeous, and I'm like getting chills feeling it because it's just so silky and soft and feels so luxurious. I'm almost scared to use it, but yeah, it's never. You should never not use the nice fabric. Just go for it. Um, I think that's it on fabric. Hmm. Fabric weights, little notions, patterns, lots of patterns. I think that's all my fabric. So now I just gotta organize. It's a new day, and I spent some nighttime hours organizing some of my fabric and generally got a couple good piles. So here's what I'm thinking. I've got a big pile of fabric I know I want to use. And I most of these things I have plans for. I've got a couple other piles here, like this pile of stuff that I purchased and never touched that I definitely know I want to use, and probably for myself. But I know I want to use those fabrics, so those are the easiest to identify for me. I also have a pile of just knit fabric and a big pile of cotton or quilting cotton that can be used for lots of different things. I have a couple other piles of like cotton lineny blend, which probably will also be used, if not for me, to make a project for someone else. This whole section here is like upcyclable things. So I've got upholstery fabric, all my blankets and bed sheets and curtains and stuff like that, that are just waiting to be upcycled into something. I've got a few unfinished projects here, and below me are somewhere underneath the table and chair are piles of scraps from previous projects, which I will keep for either practice or um, patchworking together. And then over here, I've got a lot of stuff from my early days of sewing. I showed those like curtains and blankets and stuff like that, and pieces that I made before. A lot of that stuff, I would like to take apart the pieces for scraps, but most of that material I'm not super inclined to use at this point. I have other things that I would use first, so I think my instinct now is to make a pile of stuff I'm definitely not going to use and donate it to the fashion program at my school, um, which is a good note. I said I was a former self taught sewist. That's because this fall I started taking sewing classes at the local community college. I'm taking apparel construction, and I am also taking flat pattern. I'm really, really enjoying it. The program is super high quality. The instructor is amazing. Um, and I'm looking forward to taking more courses in the spring and continuing to take whatever I can take. I've learned so much, especially obviously in the pattern class. There's so much to learn. But in the basic sewing class too, it's just like really honing in on perfecting the details and making everything super clean and understanding the why behind everything as well. It's just been such a great experience so far. But that means I haven't had a lot of time to sew for myself between move, organizing, all of this, all of my sewing stuff, and also sewing for class. Um, I'm looking forward to having time to sew for myself. Um, okay. So, yeah, I think I'm on all that. I'm gonna organize a little more, decide what I really want to get rid of and what I want to keep, and kind of make more sense out of the piles. Let's do it. Well, I've done some organizing. As you can see, I've got my upcycle stuff and scraps at the bottom. I've got all my fabrics I really want to use right here in front of me. I've got all my random cottons and other related items here. We've got some knits and some silky fabrics. I still do have some scraps laying around that I think are just gonna go back in the bag where they were. Um, because I'm always rifling through my little bag of scraps for various things. But during this, I did realize that I have another cabinet on the other side that actually has like 5 bolts of fabric. Not full bolts, but several yards. Um, so we're doing great. But I'm happy that stuff is away at least. And I thought now that most of my fabric is away, I'd say that my next project is going to be a pair of pants, probably a little pleated pant for the fall, in this brown linen. I got this at a fabric sale from my school, and the project after that is going to be remaking these cargo-ish pants in this blue cotton twill. Um, so a couple pairs of pants coming along, but for today, I think that that's that. And I have next to organize my notions and all my other crafty things and really get my sewing stations set up. But I think we made some good progress, so I'm happy about that. I at least have my table clear so I can work on some other things. Yay!